What's going on, DJBooth.net? This is DJ Blaze, and I'm here in the lab one more time to give you guys the full video review of the new Vestax VCI-400 Digital DJ Controller. Okay everyone, so here it is, the Vestax VCI-400 Digital DJ Controller along with MIDI mappable buttons. So this is the first impressions and setup section of the review, and first of all, first impressions, they kind of blow you away. You see there's a lot of buttons here. There's a lot of operations that can be done. You know, you shouldn't really be scared off by it. It's pretty easy to explain, and you'll see that during the review video here. But it is a lot to take in when you first look at it. It's very nicely built. It's very high quality. It's metal all the way around. You have metal on your jog wheels. All of your knobs and your EQ knobs are all metal post, which means they're very high quality and just built to last. And the whole machine as it was built is just a very heavy duty piece, very solid, very heavy in construction. The weight is great, and you're just gonna have something here that will last you a long time. So very good first impressions, and overall design impressions are also good. You have a nice, easy to distinguish layout. This is a 4-deck digital DJ controller. So you see you have your 4 decks of control right there at your fingertips, and you have everything you need here in order to get started playing right out of the box. So that brings us into setup. The setup of this controller is as easy or as difficult as you would like to make it. This is a professional digital DJ controller. It's reflected in the price, as well as the build quality, as well as all the options that you can do with this device. Options being, you can use this with almost any DJ software out there, or any other MIDI type of program that you want to use it with, since all of your buttons, knobs, and jog wheels are all fully MIDI mappable. It comes with virtual DJ LE, but the controller is really made for Tractor. I mean, everything that they have here layout wise is just perfect for Tractor. All your FX banks, all of your filter knobs, your EQs, everything is just in line. Even your shift and your loop shift functions over here all line up really nicely with what you see on the screen when you're using Tractor 2. So for the purposes of this review, that is what we are going to be reviewing it with, Tractor 2 Professional. And basically all the TSI files for your Tractor 2 setup are located on the Vestax website. There's also files there for Virtual DJ Pro, DJ4, Decadence, Mix Vibes Cross, Ultra Mixer Pro 3, and there's even Serato DJ Intro free download that you can get once you purchase a VCI 400. All the mapping is really nice. We're gonna test this unit basically with the default TSI mapping that we got straight from Vestax, but you guys can fully customize this controller as you see fit. You can map the buttons to do any functions you want. You can make everything a Q button if you want. You can make everything a loop controller if you want. You can even map individual decks to different software, or individual buttons to different types of software. There's also videos on YouTube of people with mapping one type of deck to Tractor while another deck was on Decadence, and it all worked really nicely, and even the fading, everything worked great, and you can check that out if you get a chance. For the purpose of this review though, we're going to take the somewhat simple route, and we're going to review this on Tractor 2 Professional. Okay, so now we'll talk about the inputs and outputs. The VCI 400 has a nice range of inputs and outputs for DJs to choose from. Right here on the front we have the headphone output. This is a 1/4 inch metal solid sturdy jack. If we flip it around, we have the 2 separate microphone inputs, and these are actually XLR or 1/4 inch jacks. They're double purpose, so you can use whatever style plug you like, and they have their individual own knob for volume control. That way you can do this independently of anything you're mixing with on the front. You also have a mic routing direct master, or input routing direct master for deck C and D. You also have line 1, line 2 RCA inputs, and you also have a control knob here so that you can do straight through mixing. There's a new update that was just released, and the VCI-400 is now capable of standalone mixing, and you will use these inputs for that purpose. And then you have your master outputs. We have the balanced XLR, and we also have the 1/4 inch. There's no RCA outputs here. A little bit of a letdown because, you know, a lot of people have simple systems and they sometimes want that, but, you know, you're still covered with a nice range of better and more high quality master outputs. If you continue over, you have your AC adapter, and you also have the USB port for your computer. Okay, next up we're going to talk about the decks. When I'm talking about the decks, I'm talking about the actual pieces of the controller that you're going to use to manipulate the sound files that you are going to be playing. The jog wheel is very similar to the design of the other VCI models on the market today. Very nice, very solid. You know, you got your one-to-one operation. And it just works very, very nicely. You have a lot of adjustments that you can make. There is a screw top here that allows you to adjust the tension where it can be very loose, like I have here, or you can make it really tight for your mixing style. There's also 2 little knobs down here for your left and right touch sensor adjustment. So depending on how hard you press the top, it will either engage or not engage at all, depending on how you have your touch sensor control set here on the front. There's also a vinyl and jog mode. When in vinyl mode, like we are in now, anything we do on the actual vinyl is 1-to-1. When we're in jog mode, you use the actual jog in order to speed up or slow down the actual tempo of the track for your mix. And down here, you'll notice we have a nice list of pads that are your transport buttons. They call these the transport buttons. Each of your decks has a group of transport buttons, and these transport buttons are very unique in the fact that they have 3 different overlays to them, meaning that you can change the 3 position toggle switch down here to change what the actual buttons do. So instead of having a total of 6 buttons up here, you really have 6 times 3, which is 18, because you have 3 different modes here. When you're using this with Tractor in the default setting, your modes will be play, pause, cue, and these will be your 4 sample banks. So you can easily play your sample banks that will be found on your deck C just from pressing the buttons here. When you press it over to the left mode allows you to see your regular track deck in C. So you can have your track deck set up in C with the mode button all the way to the left. And when your mode button's all the way to the right, you're using your live input for channel C. So a lot of cool things going on there. And you can remap these buttons any way you see fit and use it exactly how you want it to be used. Along with the jog wheels and the actual decks of control, we have the tempo slider up here. Everything is fully mapped to your software, so as you see the tempo slider move in the hardware, you'll also see it on the software if you have it all mapped out. Your tempo range is all based upon the software that you use. It's just a blank controller at this point, and whatever software you use will have your ranges of pitch for you to select. Okay, next up we're going to talk about the actual mixing console, and when we're referring to mixing console, we are referring to the middle portion of the deck. And basically, this is the part that looks a little daunting to, you know, beginner users, but it's basically the same thing 4 times. You got your deck D, B, A, and C. So basically you have your faders. Where you start off is your crossfader. The crossfader has a crossfader curve control knob down here. So you can adjust the curve control on the fly. You don't have to go on your software preferences to adjust them all the time. And the fader is a pretty good fader. It's basically about the same that you see on the other VCI controllers. You can pull off all your scratches, all your crab scratches. Everything works pretty nicely here. It is a slight difference in cut-in time. The cut-in time is a little bit long, but there is a panel on the rear of the unit so where you can replace your faders very easily with something that you might like a little bit better than what's in there now. So after you go with the faders, the line faders are a little bit more tension. They're easier for mixing and getting the accurate volume control levels. But your crossfader is a little bit more loose, nice for scratching and mixing, nice and smooth. Next up from the faders, on each channel you'll see a cue button, and this button actually will cue in the headphones anything that you want to cue up while you have your masters already playing. So you can cue up all of these in your headphones at the same time if you'd like, or you can just pick the exact channel or deck that you want to play in your headphones. Up front you have your cue section. This is your cue master knob. That way you can fade between what you have selected in the cue and the master, which is actually coming out of your unit. And you also have a level volume control knob here as well, and they both can be pushed in to be recessed. And like I said earlier, you have your headphone jack here. So after your cue area here, next up is the actual filter knobs and effect banks. So here you have two effect banks that we'll get into a little bit later, but your effect bank 1 is here, your effect bank 2 is up here. So in order to enact the effect bank 1 or effect bank 2 onto these different decks, all you got to do is light it up, make sure you have your deck, your FX on, and you're ready to go, and your effect will be enacted upon as long as the light is on in that area. Next up you have your filter knobs. These are quick effect filters. That way you can, filter the low or the high and make some cool sounds while you're mixing. Up above that we have a sync button and a load button. The sync button is what you press when you want to automatically do your BPM sync through the software for the deck that you're trying to cue up. You also have a load button here. That way when you're using your browse knob to go through your tracks, when you're ready to select the track and put it onto one of your decks, all you do is press your load button, and that way you'll be able to load the track onto any deck of your choice. In the middle portion of the controller here we have what we call the loop recorder. This is a master loop recorder section for Traktor. This is your loop knob, and these are your record buttons and playback buttons as well. And you also have a headphone master button. That way if you want to just hear what's in your master at a quick time, you just press the master headphone button. You also have a master knob here, and by the way, these knobs for the EQs and for the master volume control are the same exact knobs that are found on the flagship Vestax PMC-05 Pro 4. So you're getting very high quality knobs here, nothing to mess around with. Next up you have your 3-band EQ. This is a full band EQ, and they're very nice. Everything's very accurate with them. And above that you have your trim or gain knob. Okay, next up we'll talk about the cue points, samples, and loops. These are basically your more advanced functions of the Vestax VCI-400. All controllers have those functions nowadays. Everybody wants them, everybody uses them, and basically they're very easy to use here on this unit. The cue buttons are 1, 2, 3, 4, the bottom pads here for Traktor, and in order to delete the cue, all you gotta do is press the small delete button that's below that. Above that you have a navigation area where you can fast forward or rewind through your track but still remain on beat, and that's these two pads here to go forward or to go backwards. Over here you have your loop in and your loop out, and above that you have your two loop controllers in order to shift or grow and shorten your loop. And we'll do a quick demo on the cue points so you guys can see how it's done. And then when you want to delete them, just press the button underneath and they're gone. In order to do your loops, you come over here, you start your loop, you stop your loop. And you can grow your loop and cut your loop down. Next up is for the sample decks. Everybody knows about this time about the Tractor 2 sample decks. Very nice feature. You go over to deck C and you're ready to capture your samples. You can just do like I did and create a loop and then assign it to one of your sample decks down there. Very easy to do and works just as nicely as it does on the other native instruments, Tractor S4 and all the other devices that's out there today that work with that sample deck feature. Okay, next up we're going to talk about the effects section. And just as I said earlier, you have your filter knobs here and your effect 1 and 2. And this will enable your effect bank 1 or effect bank 2 to work on that particular channel or deck that you have selected. So basically the effects section has 1, 2, 3, 4 knobs and buttons just as it's set up in Tractor. So if you guys are familiar with Tractor, you know you'll have your one oversized knob that will adjust the actual main effect that you have, while the other knobs are there to adjust the fine adjustments of the actual effect. Likewise, you can also have 3 separate effects and then 1 master button in order to enact them all. And you have that times 2. You have 2 effect banks just like with the other Tractor control MIDI controllers, and everything is right there at your fingertips and everything lines up perfectly. With Tractor Pro 2 you have, I think it is 32 different effects to choose from. They all work nicely, and I'm not going to demo it because you guys seen that 100 million times at this point. So effects are very nice. You got your nice oversized metal filter knobs here. Everything's very accurate, very precise, and works just as advertised. So in conclusion, the Vestax VCI-400 may very well be one of the best, if not the best, Tractor controller that you can get out there on the market today. It's got a solid build quality. You have your standalone mixer feature. There's a lot of extra bells and whistles. It's fully MIDI mappable and programmable. It comes with overlays, stickers, so that you can place them on there and you can write down what you programmed all of your buttons for. There's just not too many bad things that you can say about the unit. It's got great sound quality. It's got 2 sets of balanced outputs. You have 2 mic inputs. You can also have the ability to plug in external decks. So you got a lot going on here. You get a lot of machine, but it's going to cost you. You know, it's a $1,000 machine, but you're getting a professional grade DJ controller, and you really can't go wrong with it. The Vestax VCI-400, we're going to recommend that to any professional DJ who wants to have a controller on the side or controller for an additional setup. You know, it's very versatile. It's for anyone who wants a versatile system. They don't know what kind of software they're interested in getting. Well, this is a great piece for you. That way you can go through a bunch of different trial softwares and you can check them all out and see which one is right for you. So that's it for the video review. We'll have the written review on the website. The blog site is updated Monday through Friday along with all of our back catalog of reviews and video reviews. That's www.djbooth.net/DJS for DJs. You can also check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 128 videos now. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/RealDJBlaze. And you can follow me on Twitter at DJBlaze_DJBooth. Thanks for watching.